Hello, film world. I am the Patrick, your host of Tomorrow Comes Movies, the podcast that spoiler talks movies. And each episode, I'll be joined by a guest co-host from a roster of movie fans to varying degrees. Welcome back, and thank you so much for tuning in. This is a special episode because we're making history here on Talk Movies. And real quickly here before I get started, I have to remember because I never say this in all the other recordings you probably heard, but I need to remember this. If you ever want to join the conversation, no matter what episode you listen to, you can by either hashtagging TOCMovies wherever you're at on social media, and or add us at TOCMovies. That's our handle everywhere on social media. And you can share your thoughts or that you're listening to the episode. And if you do, I definitely will interact, and I appreciate that you want to join the conversation because that's the point of this podcast. Is we're all just talking movies here, and as I said earlier, this is a special episode because we are making history, as I just said like 30 seconds ago. But if you look at the description of this podcast, there's something that we've yet to tackle, and we are finally doing it. And you're probably like, I know, because I looked at the episode description before I press play. So I know what's going on, Patrick. But yeah, we are rolling with that. So what else? What else here? Yeah, the action series is still going on. I'm wrapping up some recordings as we speak with that. And so that one ran a little longer, and it looks like my next movie series will be running just as long the way it's going because I just want to talk movies so much that I hit up so many people, and you don't know for sure if people are going to come on, and then it turns out I've been so fortunate that there's so many awesome people that were like, I would love to come talk movie with you, and so thank you to everybody who's come on, and thank you to everybody who's listening. It's been a journey, but I'm definitely excited for what's to come, especially with this month because we are debuting multiple different movie series. And if you like the action series, we still have a lot more to go. And a lot of first time guest co-hosts. We are getting some returning guest co-hosts. That's the fun for me is that well, all of it's fun. I love talking to people for the first time, and then I also love having people come back. And one last thing I need to share, this particular episode is audio only release. So this episode features a first-time guest co-host, somebody who I've known for 15 years. I've had podcast superstars. I've had ultra stars. In fact, I'm bringing back another ultra star movie theater employee here. But this is one of my really good friends who was supposed to be on this podcast back in April. We're not sure what happened. She thought April Fool's Day was like 3 months later, but whatever. Um, please welcome Lua.
Hey, what's up?
This is why I wanted you on this podcast because I knew you were laughing about that April Fool's joke. I could see you. I could see
Yeah,
you. Um,
yeah.
and for those who are tuning in, I probably said this in the intro, but this is an audio only release. Okay, I wish I could show you the video because what we're like the way she really thinks she's Batman because she's like completely in the dark. I'm not entirely sure what's going on over there, but yeah, I know you're a big Batman fan, but you're really brooding. Um, but welcome to the show, Lua. It's been a long time, like 3 months in the making.
Yeah, it's good to be here, finally.
Yeah, and what a movie we're gonna review. But before we do that, we gotta do this little thing called the introduction, where I get to know you. Well, I mean, I know you, but they need to know you. And this is exciting though, because they met. In the first episode, they met the '08 version of Patrick. Now, when you met me, it was the
Mhm.
2011 version, who was not as wild, more like well, actually, I was never wild. I don't know why I said that. That made no sense. I was never wild. I don't know why I told you that.
Where the hell is that, Patrick?
Yeah, but you met me when I was a little bit more like I was in a relationship. I was a supervisor. Like you didn't know me before that, and so you met a very different version of the Patrick within 3 years. But we worked together at Ultrastar twice because you worked there at two different times. You worked there. You started in 2011, right?
Yeah, somewhere around there, yeah.
And then when did you come back?
I can't even remember. I think maybe 2013, 2014, around there.
Yeah, it's very rare people
I'm
come
just
back.
guessing.
Yeah, it's very rare that people come
Oh,
back, and then yeah, most probably when they come back, they're not happy. But you're like, I like this place for what it is, and then like 2 weeks later, like, yeah, I want to quit. I hate this place. I hate this job. you know, um, but this is interesting though because you're gonna be able to we're gonna be able to talk about something that's even a little different from what I did with Ray Ray. Um, is that we worked together at another job. Was I needed a job.
yeah,
Yeah, I needed a job because the movie theater started cutting my hours, and you're like, "Hey, I'm in security now," and I had no experience in that, so I jumped over there with you, and we did that for about 2 years, right?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
That was fun too.
yeah. So, like, for those who are listening, can you describe as best as you can? Do you remember how I was when we first met? Like, do you remember like the first couple of like interactions we had? You can tell the truth about my legend at that movie theater if you have to.
Well, we definitely didn't talk as much as we do now, of course. Uh, I don't know. Everyone always said just do everything Patrick tells you to do. Listen to what he says, yada yada. And that's how I started to get to know you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you listened correctly because you never got yelled at. I was notorious at the movie theater for like I wanted it done a certain way. Okay. And you know this for a fact though, because once when you and I became close and you were like one of those workers that I could depend on, along with Eden, shout out to Eden, who's never gonna listen to this podcast, but she was like my closest one at the movie theater for years. But yeah, you two were like my go-tos, right? Like to the point where people couldn't understand this concept of like if you just did your job correctly, then we could just go fuck around and just go hang out in a storage closet and like talk about shit.
Exactly.
Except they're all
Yep.
like, they don't want to. They don't wanna work. They're like, "I don't want to," and I'm like, "That's why you're cleaning the compactor outside, and that's why we're inside in the nice air conditioning because you don't listen." But yeah, I remember working with you because somebody else I worked with was McKay, was your friend, and she told me to be
Mhm.
nice to you. She was like, "Be nice to her, she's cool," and I was like, "Well, does she work?" And she's like, "Yeah, she's fine." And you didn't say a word to me. You just did what you wanted to do. And I remember people like I don't know if I ever told you this. I may have, but I remember asking people about you. It's like, "So, what's up with her?" And everyone's just like, "She doesn't talk." She doesn't
What
talk.
the?
Yeah, they're like, "She doesn't talk and she's really quiet and awkward." And I was like, "Really?" So then I started talking to you and you never gave me a hard time, but we became really close. We're like this is something I couldn't talk about with Ray Ray because he didn't last long. He got fired because he can't behave. But you weren't getting fired. You could behave. But we used to hang out, right? Like we would clean movie theaters because I was a supervisor and usher. And then we would
Mhm.
go into the closet. We would go into the storage closet and just hang out. And I don't
Yeah.
do you remember this? I don't know if you were there for a lot of this. I remember Eden was, but do you remember that that room would become the therapy room for people to come talk to me about their problems? Were you there for any of
Yes.
that? Yeah. Can you imagine that you're coming here to work a shitty minimum wage job and you're like, "I need help in life." And you're like, "I gotta call my supervisor." And I remember having to organize things like, "Shh, all right, we're gonna have to go do this." And we'd all go in the closet to talk until the manager's like, "What are you guys all doing in there?" And I'm like, "We're working." like, like, yeah, it's
We're counting
crazy.
inventory.
Yeah, yeah, we're counting inventory, and one time they're like, "Wait, didn't you do that on Monday?" I was like, "It's Tuesday, we have to do it again." Like, it made no sense. Like, but they knew we were in there. I used to get talked to all the time, like, "Hey, you can't always be in there." And, I was like, "Whatever." But yeah, we used to do that. That was fun to work together because yeah, it was just different. Like, when you could work and then you could just mess around and just, like, have downtime, it was cool. But when we went to security, though, that was a different vibe because you had to
Yeah.
you had to put your word out. I was like, "Hey, this is my friend and he's a good worker." And I go and do an interview with the boss. What was her name? I can't remember her name right now.
Crystal. I think I don't know
I don't
actually.
know. Dude, I talked to her so much, you would think I would know. But I go in for the interview and she's cool. She's like, "Yeah," she's like, "Lua gave you this glowing recommendation. I like what we are hearing." And I said, "Just gotta be honest here really quickly here. I can't work a certain day." And she's like, "Why?" I was like, "Because it's the premiere of Star Wars." And she goes, and that could be a make or break with most people because you're like, you're either gonna get fired, you're like, you're not even fired, they're
Right.
not even gonna hire you. She's gonna be like, "Really?" And she goes, well, I'm a Lord of the Rings fan, and I'm just like in my head, I'm like, "Oh, that's," I'm like, "That movie sucks." But yeah, that's awesome. Like, like, I told her, and so I got it off. But I worked with you there, and that setting was unique because I was the new guy there. I wasn't established, so I had to I was lucky to have you there because you could help me transition where I wouldn't look like a total fool. But yet, I started off the way we used to do with at the movie theater was you were like, hey, like we can hang out and stuff, but you got to go do work. So I would shut up and I would go do my job, and then I got to know George and Mike. And for some odd reason, I don't know my boss's name. We should know this because we used to talk to her all the time. Uh,
Rebecca.
Rebecca, that's it. Rebecca, yeah. And, we had some good times with security, but that was a weird job for me because I liked working with you and
Yeah.
everybody. I hated doing it by myself because you had to deal with, homeless,
Mhm.
car repo guys having lunch in our parking lot and then getting really offended when I'm like, "This is private property," and they're acting like I had said something to them so offensive, like, "I'm eating my lunch," and I'm like, "I don't give a
Yeah.
fuck what you're doing. Get out of here, like, this is private property," and then we had to deal with drunks, we had to deal with,
Yeah.
prostitution sometimes. There was one issue with that, people hooking up, and then,
Oh, yeah. A
yeah,
lot of that.
and then one time we were working and somebody, pulled out a gun and shot it in the air. That was wild, that was wild, like, but we worked there, and that was fun, and then, um, I was gonna tell this story, but I'll have to do it another time, but yeah, we did security. Do you have any, fun memories of the movie theater or security?
Yeah. I would say the biggest memory for me would be when you threw me out of the golf cart, when you were speeding down the road. That was that was something. I'll never forget that.
I'm glad that you never forgot it, but you were like, "I'm not gonna go to human resources because I would've been fired Actually, I don't even know if Rebecca would've fired me. She would've just been like, "Was there any particular reason why you threw out Lua?" And I'm like, "I don't know." She said something ridiculous, and I just had enough. No, yeah, it's so funny when you did fall out, I was like my heart dropped because 'cause I'm like, because I was just like, it coulda went sideways easily, coulda went sideways, but
Yeah.
you're telling me George never threw you out of the golf cart with his driving?
No, actually, no.
He
He
was too
wasn't trying to, you know, drive like Fast and Furious over here.
I mean, he was too busy using the word plethora in his reports. I mean, the guy loved using the word plethora. If it could be used in a report,
Cornucopia.
yeah, cornucopia. I mean, he was just like he looked up the dictionary. He's like, plethora is the best word in the world. I'm going to use it. And he even said to us one
Yeah.
time too. He's like, "Oh man, I'm kind of busy. I got like a plethora of reports." I'm like, "So you have a lot of reports?" He was just like, What's going on here?" But yeah, shout out to them. But yeah, that was we had some really good adventures. But working in a movie theater and security, one thing that was a common theme was you and I liked movies. I think I like it more than you clearly now as as you've got to know me. But we both used to go to the movies all the time. Like I'm trying to think of a movie that you and I saw, and the one that comes up is so ridiculous. Is Bad Santa 2?
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Do you remember any
There's
other movies that we saw together?
I can't remember movies that we saw together, no. No.
15 15 years of friendship, and we're like, "Can we think of a movie we saw?" And it's like Bad Santa 2. Like, how ridiculous. Out of all the movies, I'm like, Bad Santa 2.
Yeah,
Did we see any of the Batman movies? Because 'Cause you're a huge Batman fan.
yeah. I have to say, I don't know, actually. No, I don't think so.
We didn't.
We always had a bet of who could watch it more in theaters.
Yeah, 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 was it for The Dark Knight Rises, right? Because I was going crazy about
Yeah.
that movie. Yeah, because I was say The Dark Knight, I didn't know you at that time, and I saw that. That's still maybe? No, Deadpool and Wolverine and Beetlejuice beat that, shockingly, beat that. I don't
I love Deadpool.
yeah, but you love Batman. What is the, favorite Batman movie?
My favorite's still probably The Dark Knight.
That's right.
I like The Dark Knight Rises, of course, but, I don't know. I just really love The Dark Knight. Mhm.
'Kay, favorite Batman, like, who's your favorite Batman? Who
Christian Bale.
hell yeah. That's what I wanna hear. Now
Mhm.
I want to ask you that. Now, this is an interesting question for you because, like I said, we talk all the time, but it's so funny to ask these questions because these are usually geared towards somebody I'm not familiar with. But like, try to think as best as possible. Like, I'm talking to you like you don't know how to answer questions, but it's so funny. what movie or movies made you realize you love movies?
Uh, that's hard to say. I don't know. I don't know if I ever. I can't pinpoint a movie where I was like, oh my god, I love movies.
Mhm.
You know, I just really enjoy watching them every now and then.
What about when you saw The Dark Knight? Did that change how you looked at movies? Like, that's something you had not seen before?
No, I
It was just
I
some ra
just always
it's just some random movie.
like I love the Dark Knight movie, but I can't say that it changed my view on movies. I don't know.
Okay, well, what about well, you okay, what are some of your this is because there's something I'm trying to see if I can get you to say 'cause I think it's gonna come up, but what are some of your
Uh-huh.
favorite movies of all time? Obviously, we know The Dark Knight's up there, but there's some others.
Yeah, I love Deadpool. I love John Wick. I could watch that over and over again. Um, I enjoy Twilight, but I don't love it. I just want to say it. Okay. I just enjoy it because I love the books. uh, I don't know. You have to name a couple others. Yeah, I don't know.
So if you're listening to this and Lou's got the giggles and you're thinking to yourself, "She must have popped an edible," I can confirm that she has not, in fact, popped the edible. This is just how she is constantly. We're constantly laughing at each other because we're both throwing jokes. She's one of the funniest people I've ever met, but she did bring up in her favorite movies Twilight. Okay, and this is what I was waiting for. This is what I'm waiting for.
That's what
But
you were waiting for?
before, yeah, I was waiting for you to bring this up, but I have to get to one other question or two, like a two-parter question to get to this. But before we get to Twilight, who what are some of your favorite actors and actresses?
Okay. Well, obviously, I like Christian Bale because of Batman. I love Robert Pattinson because, he's hot and he's good. I also love Liam Neeson. Think he's cool. Idris Elba. I like that too. Um, I can't think of anything.
What about
Yeah.
actresses? Like, is there any like Emma Stone or something like that?
Mm. Uh, I actually can't think of any actresses that I really like. I'm sure there's some out there.
So no on Emma
I
Stone.
can't. She's okay. I don't love her.
the I do love Idris Elba, but you are a Denzel Washington fan too. You're a very big Denzel Washington fan. But you brought up a lot of good choices. There's not one actor that I'm like, oh, I don't like. But you brought up Robert Pattinson, and the reason why I waited to bring this up with Twilight is because I know Robert Pattinson is extremely popular now. Everyone recognizes that he is a world class actor, that he is the real deal. But let me tell you, Lewis should get all the credit in the world. She was riding with this dude when I met her in 2011. I was just like, he's not it. And she was like, he's good. He's good. I'm telling you, like he's hot, but yeah, he's good. Like he's good. And I'm like, in those Twilight movies, she's like, no, she's like, yeah, he's not the best in those movies, but that movies are weird. And I do agree. We watched it one time, and I remember being like, what's up with him being so stiff? But yeah, you rode
Yeah.
with him, and now he. How do you, as a Robert Pattinson fan from like day one, like what is it like to see him be regarded now as one of the best actors of his generation? Like what a turnaround, right? What do you think of that?
Well,
To see that finally turn around for him.
it's good to know that I'm right. You know, I like that. I like that. I know he's good, and now everybody sees it, and I've been right all along. You know.
Yeah, I mean, people now associate him as the actor who does the voices. So imagine me as the Tom Hardy
Yeah.
fan being like, there was another guy before before him, but okay, but yeah, I mean, yeah, you rode with him. Yeah, he is a good actor. And I do have to say that the movie choices after Twilight maybe not the greatest, but he's rebounded, and I've seen him in Tenet. He's obviously great in the Batman, and he's good in Mickey 17. So yeah, I love to
Yeah.
see that you were right for once. You're not right all the
Mhm.
time, but for once,
Yeah,
this
there's
is your
definitely
moment.
some weird ones that he's done for sure,
Oh yeah.
like The Lighthouse.
What about movie? Oh, I like the. You don't like that, or you think it's just weird?
What was that?
Wait, do you like The Lighthouse, or you just think it's a weird movie?
It's a weird movie. I've seen it
I
twice.
love it. It's
Uh,
oh okay. Well,
no,
I'm glad you think it's weird enough. You were like, I'll watch it twice because it's weird.
the whole thing with the wooden mermaid just really got me like, "Whoa."
Oh, I hope you guys are enjoying this because I haven't laughed this hard in a long time because it's just because I like I said, Lua is one of the funniest people I know. This is the stuff that I knew she was gonna say, not about the lighthouse, but just like about Robert Patterson. But now to get serious here, though, there is something I want to ask you about favorite directors because I think I know one of
Mhm.
them for sure. But what are some of
Yeah.
your favorite directors, if you know any?
I know, that's the thing. I don't know a lot, but I love Christopher Nolan, that's for sure, and, that's it.
Right. All the listeners that love movies are like, this is some top tier stuff here, Patrick. You brought a real movie fan, but it's true story though. Lua does love movies because I would watch a lot of different movies. Now, Lua's not like how do I say this? Like Lua's not like is not going to go into the Criterion collection and like she may not recognize a lot of those movies, but I can get her to watch certain movies. And then she'll be like, "What was that about?" like, what was that? One of them was I don't even know if I should bring it up, but I never. I'm not
Say
gonna
it.
bring it up because
Say it.
Miller's Girl. I remember I said
Oh,
you should. And you go. What's up with this movie? Like I'm just like. Well, I was like, well, at least I got you to watch it, but like that's not in the Criterion Closet. But there's a lot of like prestigious movies, but I think I could get you to watch them for this podcast because like you're not like the biggest into like the award stuff, but then again, you do have a good barometer of what's a good movie and what's a bad movie. And you bring up Christopher Nolan, who is arguably probably in my opinion the best director out. I will still
mhm.
stand by that. Odyssey tickets just went on sale today as we record this, and my AMC app was like an hour wait to just go watch The Devil
Oh
Wears
my
Prada
gosh,
2.
really?
Yeah, people were dude, he's so popular now that when he puts out a movie, the tickets crash. So AMC crashed, and I went over to my Regal app and I just bought a regular, well, RPX. It's like their version of like I don't know IMAX maybe I don't know, but I just bought a ticket that because I'm like I just want to go see the Odyssey. Like because I know. Let me ask you: is with you being a Christopher Nolan fan, is the Odyssey going to get you to go to the theaters for this?
Yeah, actually, that's one of the movies that I'm actually excited to see. As soon as I saw the trailer, I was like, "Oh my god, hell yeah, I wanna watch this." You know?
Yeah, well, yeah, because I just bought tickets on Thursday. Yeah, I definitely know.
Yeah.
Just kidding. But yeah, this is why Lou is on the podcast because she recognizes that Christopher Nolan, man, he's the real deal. Like and so yeah. What about like so right now as we record this, Scary Movie 6 has dropped. Is that something that you're interested in seeing?
Yes, I think they're
Okay,
so
I just
funny. What?
uh, I'm hearing some really strange things about this new one, so I hope you do see it, and
Yeah,
I'd love to run it back. Yeah, I'm
I
hearing it's not that great. I'm hearing it's not that great, but then again, none of those movies have ever been a critic's darling.
yeah,
None of
no,
them. Yeah, so,
they're just
yeah.
meant to be funny, you know? You can't take those movies seriously. You just have to just sit there and enjoy them, you know?
Yeah, because like you and I, like I don't ever say this. I'm not one of these people that likes to say this because I feel that people who say this aren't funny. But I think you and I would say about each other we're pretty funny and we have similar humor and we throw out some
Mhm.
jokes that we can't do on this podcast. We throw out nothing offensive, but it's like some dark humor stuff about us that we're
Yeah.
like but yeah, with comedy it's tough because I feel like a lot of comedy movies are not the same anymore because people are afraid to say anything. I mean, I love how
Yeah.
I say this, right? Because you know this about me too, is I'm like, yeah, I won't say something. And you're like, why? That joke wasn't even offensive. And I'm just like, I don't know, man. I don't want to get, what I mean? So I'm all stiff now when I see people. I'm like, hello, how you doing? I'm gonna walk my dog.
Hi.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, oh hi. Hey, I'm leaving. Like so
Have a
with
good day.
comedy, is there any particular yeah, have I always forget to say that. Have a good day. I'm just like, bye. Is there any like because I know you love comedy movies. Is there any comedy movies that come to your mind that are some of your favorites? There's no judgment here.
Uh, I like the other guys. Um, oh my God, every time you ask me a question, my mind goes blank. I swear.
You're not the first. I can't confirm that you're not the first, and you sure won't be the last.
Yeah, I don't know. Oh, Pineapple Express. I like This Is the End. Ooh, 21 Jump Street. Love that. Mm, love
Now,
that.
do, do you have like I know this is funny because like, you keep going blank, and I get it because like sometimes you come on, you're like I don't know. I mean, I don't have this issue, me. I just roll with it. I don't know why. I never have. I've yet to blank, and when it happens, I guess I'll find out. But I know we talked about like, do you have? Is there ever been a movie like a favorite movie experience of like recently? Like, I'll give you an example. Like, just to help you out here is like, was there like a movie you went to go see? And you're like, that was a fun experience. Like maybe like the Batman.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I
Yeah,
definitely enjoyed watching that.
that must have been like a double. This sounds so weird to say this. This must have been a double satisfaction for you to see Robert Patterson now.
Triple.
Triple satisfaction for you because not only are you a huge Batman fan,
Yeah.
you're also love movies, and then Robert Patterson, you finally were able to silence people. You're like, I knew he was going to be a good Batman. I actually can confirm that when he was rumored to be Batman, I was just like, yeah, I'm fine with it. And people were like, wait, I thought you didn't like him, and I'm like, yeah, but that was like years ago. I'm like, dude, he's come a long way since. I'm like, how he cannot be. Trust me, I've seen Batmans that were not the greatest. Okay, he'll be
Oh
fine.
yeah,
And
for sure.
so now with the Batman Part 2 is being filmed right now. Is it hard for you? Like a lot of people are not happy at how long it's taken. Does it bother you that it's taken quite a number of years to come out, or you're like, I'm patient because I know it's going to be worth the wait.
I would rather wait than have something be rushed and just half-assed, you know? I want it to be good and worth it.
And that's why Lou's on the podcast. And my last question. I don't know if this is something you do, but I think you do own some. Do you collect physical media? Like you have a movie collection, right?
Yeah, a little bit.
Is there what like if I said like quick top of your head, what's a movie you have in your collection? What would be the
Twilight.
first?
I also have Deadpool. Um, the Dark Knight series, Batman, you know?
Yeah.
I think those are the only ones that I can think of at the moment.
I just want you to know it's so funny because like you guys will never be able to see this, but I will. It was when she said the Batman, her complete screen went into darkness. It's so funny. It's so ridiculous. She's really trying to get this Batman vibe for you guys. But that concludes your introduction. Actually, no, wait. There is one more question. Hold on here. Before this is one I've wanted to always ask you. Okay, here we go. This is the last one. If you could watch one movie for the rest of your life, you can't watch anything else. You just gotta. This is it. What would you choose?
That's hard. Oh man, that's actually hard. I love John Wick, so it would probably be that one, to be honest. Yeah, just like John Wick says.
The
Yeah,
first one?
yeah.
Wow, I for some reason, it's funny. The first one is so good, but like whenever you ask somebody what's their favorite John Wick, I hardly ever hear the first one. Wow, John Wick. I'm trying to think what would I choose. It's funny, man. I'm about she picks like one badass movie, right? And then I'm gonna be over here like the go-to answer would be Star Wars: A New Hope. That would technically be the answer for sure, but I guess I will go with something that I've chosen over it. I probably would go with Bong Joon-ho's Parasite. That movie, you haven't seen that, right?
No, I have not.
You got to watch that. That's a crazy movie. But that concludes your introduction, and you are helping me kick off a new movie series that should stick around. It's not going to be like just a monthly thing here.
Tomorrow Comes Movies presents Cinema on the Big Screen.
but it's called Cinema on the Big Screen, and this is just basically tackling new releases, which I've yet to do. So we're making history here, Lua. Like as you like take a little bong hit. I'm just kidding. She's not. Uh, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I don't. I know for a fact you've never even taken a hit. Like, you know what
Nah.
I mean? No, I mean not even a line. Me, I'm like I'll take anything that's not gonna mess with my blood sugar, which is everything. um, but we're gonna be reviewing the Backrooms, which is actually has a very recent but like influential history with us because with Lua, I don't because we don't really see each other as often anymore because we don't live in the same state, but we play video games a lot. And Lua is notorious for picking games that I have never heard of, that I would never play. But I'm just like, it's so fun to hang out with your friend who's just so funny, and you're just like, all right, fuck it, I'll just ride with this. And we've played games where like we're playing these like humans who could barely walk and we have to climb up shit. I struggle with these games, okay? Or one time we what did we do? We were simulators for power washing. These are
Oh my
ridiculous
god, yeah.
games.
And we
These are
did that for
ridiculous.
like at least 2 hours.
Yeah, and the funny thing is this is what happens when you get older, folks. Is that you like you're power washing. You're when you're younger, you're like, I would never play. I told her I was like, I would never play a power washing game in my life. And then we're playing power washing. I'm over here like talking about my life and how like it's falling apart. Like this is what happens when you get older. You're power washing, talking about how life sucks, which actually kind of pertains to the Backrooms because um, with the Backrooms, you and I love the backroom concept, the lore. We have I don't
Mm.
know, have you ever watched the original series?
No, actually, surprisingly, I have not.
I'll have to send you the link so you can watch it all because I've watched part of it. But our history in the Backrooms has been the weirdest way to play Backrooms is through it's
Fortnite.
so strange. Yeah, Fortnite. I didn't know that Fortnite had games within its main game, like people create
Yeah.
things. And Lua introduced this to me, and we went down a rabbit hole of backroom games. It was insane. We were playing anything that had backrooms in it. Like if it said front room, we were not in it. We're total backroom fans, which by the way, I just realized sounds like you innuendo. But we are totally into the backrooms, okay? And we were playing one time we ended up in a game that was like it was like a soap opera. Remember this? We're,
Yeah,
we're we're playing
yeah.
this game and it's like really weird and it's like this doesn't feel like backrooms. And then we stopped playing. We played a good amount of it and then we were just like, what the hell is this? And then one day you were like, hey, let's play this backrooms game. And it turned out we played the sequel, so
Yeah.
we didn't understand what the hell is going on. And then we play this and we're like, this sounds familiar. It is the weirdest and dumbest backrooms game I've ever played. It was like I don't want soap opera. I want to be scared. I don't want to deal with two
Yeah.
entities having like a love triangle. It was so weird, but that's how we got into backrooms. We went down this rabbit hole. So when the Backrooms movie came out, I've been trying to get Lou on this podcast, and I was like, "Oh, this is perfect. Like, will you do this?" And she's like, "Yeah." So that's why we're here. So let's get into this Backrooms thing. I'm gonna give the movie facts. I usually look into the camera, but this is an audio only release, so I have to just look at Lua brooding in darkness over here. Uh, Batman over here. I should just write guest co-host is Batman. But the movie facts for the Backrooms. This is released back on May 29th, 2026 from A24. It was directed by Kane Parsons in his directorial debut. This is the guy who actually did the original series. And Lou, if you really want to feel, well, maybe not. Maybe you've achieved quite a lot in your life, but for me, he's 20 years old. He was doing the Backrooms like a couple
What?
years ago when he was, yeah, he's 20 years old. He started the original series of the Backrooms that really became how the games like people would end up making games based off of his stuff. Yeah, this is his directorial debut. This man is 20. He's achieved more in his life than the Patrick has achieved in his redacted years. um,
Crazy,
but
okay.
yeah, and so this is written by Will Sudik and it stars. These are some really tough names. I had to look this up and hopefully I get it right. Chiwetel Ejiofor, Renate uh, Resvier, Mark Duplass, Finn Bennett, and Lukita Maxwell. And the film synopsis for the Backrooms is when a patient of a therapist goes missing after discovering a strange doorway into the basement of a furniture store, he enters a new world, basically. Now, if you haven't seen the Backrooms, which is crazy because everyone seems to have watched it, I would definitely recommend while it's in theaters to check it out. It's an experience, and then come back and listen to us, or don't, and then just listen to Lou and I giggle, act like we're high, but we're not because we're just laughing at each other, and we talk about the Backrooms. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Perfect. Let's talk movies. Now, the first question is I'm just curious though, like out of because you were always game to come on the podcast, but what made you want to do that? What made you want to review this movie, The Backrooms?
Well, I was just really excited for it to come out, so I knew I was gonna watch it in the theaters basically as soon as it came out. So I figured, what other movies should we talk about besides Backrooms since it just came out, you know?
Yeah, yeah. You saw this with your husband, which made me laugh. Was I sent you this text? I was like, "Hey, are you gonna watch The Backrooms?" And you're like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go with my husband." And I write this to you, and it wasn't intended to have this weird joke to it, but I'm just like, "Oh, I didn't know your husband was into the Backrooms." And as after I sent it, a minute later, I read it again and I go, "That sounded a lot more stranger when I read it again." Like, oh, because it could have been interpreted as a different way because you know my humor. But yeah, I know someone's gonna be like, "Why did you ask her this when you just explained you guys play backroom games on Fortnite?" But Lua and I are big fans of the Backrooms, but like she could have honestly chosen a different movie. So I'm kind of glad you chose this because like who else would I review the Backrooms with? Like who? Only
Mhm.
you, because I'm like I've never played with anybody else. So the first question was you went to go see the Backrooms. So when the Backrooms ended, what was your first impressions of the movie?
When the Backrooms ended, it was a good movie overall. I was a little disappointed only because I wanted to see that big monster that's normally in the games, that big black figure that comes
Yes.
chasing you. So that one part I was a little disappointed that I didn't get to see that. Other than that, I really enjoyed the movie.
So I saw part of the original series, and I remember that gigantic creature, and I was like, oh my
Mhm.
god, like to see that thing come to life. My first impression. This is hilarious though, because I think you and I have the life experience to talk about this, but the Backrooms to me is just one gigantic therapy session about disappointment and bitterness and what happens when you don't deal with your trauma. It just happens to be rolled into a like a very well done um very atmospheric, a liminal vibe that sprinkles a little bit of like claustrophobia. It's a psychological horror film, but it's really just one gigantic therapy session. And I say that because somebody I saw, remember that thing I sent you from Twitter where that guy's like, this movie's a
Yeah.
0 out of 10. And I'm just like, you haven't experienced disappointment like I have, sir. And when you do, you'll know that that movie's not a 0 for 10. And it's a lot better than that. But I think it's a very good first entry. I did have some disappointments. It's a little different from yours, but we'll get into that um, later. But yeah, that was interesting. I didn't know if there was anything that you were like, oh, yeah, I was kind of expecting that. I didn't know what we were going to get with creatures. Now, here's something interesting. You and I have a little bit of background like this. You don't have to share, by the way. You don't have to get like too deep into it. But how realistic was the therapy session scenario with Clark and what he was dealing with? Like, how realistic would you say that was?
I could see it being realistic. I know a bunch of therapists use different exercises to help, you know, people through their traumas or stuff like that. So seeing them act that out, I think is a pretty common practice.
Yeah. Well, Lou's being real reserved here because she's like, I'm pretty sure I've heard you talk like this during backrooms games. I think I've heard you venting about your life and stuff like that. It's very realistic for sure because I'm openly go to therapy, and I can confirm that I have went through a role playing scenario, not with my therapist.
What?
Yeah, I don't have no problems talking about this. I do not. I had to do one with. It's so freaking hilarious. Is I guess she's one of those like all ages therapists, so she had these like kid toys. And
Oh my
she
God.
goes like, I can't even make this. And I'm not even embarrassed about it because, like I said, at the end of the day, you should take care of your mental health. She grabs a
Yeah.
little duck. She grabs a little duck and she puts it on this little kid chair. And she's like, I want you to pretend that this is so and so. I swear to God,
Oh
that's
my
why
God.
it resonated with me. But I can't say the name of who this person was, but I think you know who it is. And I
Yeah.
told my therapist during this role playing exercise, I said to her, "This is Duck redacted. You know what rhymes with duck?
Yeah.
Fuck. And that's what I said to her. That I was like, that's how I feel about that person in this scenario. But it's actually really like, in all seriousness though, there is like, I felt something when he was going through his when he was venting. Now I can't relate to the
Mhm.
alcoholism. Now you can spoil
Yeah.
anything in this, Lou. I forgot to say this. Like you can spoil anything. We're gonna bounce from different places, but I could understand his bitterness and resentment because I can be open with you on this podcast and to the listeners because, like I said, I've known you for a long time. You know a lot about me, vice versa. You know, if I said to you, "Have you ever heard me talk something similar to this?" I think you would say yes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, not as angry at not as angry at not as angry, but like, yeah, I vented, and so to me, this was really what made the Backrooms my a really interesting and entertaining movie for me was because it started feeling too real, where I felt like Maddie in Euphoria. I was like, "Holy shit!" And I'm like looking around, like, "Is this fucking movie about me?" You know what I mean? Like, hold on a second here. And so I love that aspect of this to take a horror movie to make a horror movie about something that's so big on the internet, and then you add some layers of actual, like, something true that most of us can relate to. I think that was a smart, um, choice. Now
Yeah.
with Dr. Mary Klein, because Clark's our main character, the guy who runs the furniture store. Mary Klein is the doctor who's his therapist. Now, she also has her own traumas. Now, you don't like I said, you don't have to get personal about it, but do you feel that you could relate to some of her traumas?
Uh, no, I don't. I actually don't. I'm not entirely sure. I didn't understand her trauma. Like she was kept indoors forever, from what I
Yeah.
understood, and like basically, yeah, she couldn't go outside.
What do you mean you can't understand? There's green sandwiches in the house. She can't leave. The whole thing is border. You would
Neglected.
be you would be totally messed up. Like her mom had in all
No,
seriousness,
yeah,
her mom
yes, I understand that.
but like
She was neglected. Yes.
I guess maybe this will help maybe if you want to answer again, but like the way I looked at it was like have I experienced unresolved trauma? I think we both can say that for
Oh,
sure
yes.
yes.
Yeah,
We both
that
yes,
yes.
and I'm just saying this, Lewis, meaning that in a double meaning, being like, yeah, for me, but definitely you. I know for a fact because I've heard it. That's what you get with Tomorrow Comes Movies. You get real podcasts about not only are we talking about movies, we're talking about how like how fucked up I am. That's what you're getting with this podcast here. Um, yeah, I guess I would relate more to Mary Klein's than I'm a mixture of Mary Klein and Clark in a way. Um, and so moving with the Backrooms, was there any parts of the movie that you considered highlights? Like some of your favorite parts of it?
I think my one of my favorite parts is probably just him discovering it. I mean, can you imagine going into a space where that you've never been before? Walking into a whole bunch of different random rooms that look confusing and just being lost. I don't know. I think that's pretty cool. Not
Okay,
getting
so
lost.
okay. So you have the ability to go into the back rooms. Like you discover it. So you're actually gonna go in there and explore?
If it were me,
Yes, you.
no,
Yeah.
because I don't want to die. And I've played Backrooms before, so I know how it ends sometimes.
Yeah. I know we're talking about back rooms, but I'm gonna be upfront here. There's no way. I find out there's a portal. I don't know. My final assessment of this movie is if you have unresolved or if you're going unresolved trauma or you're dealing with something, do not go into the back rooms. It will only make it worse. That's my honest opinion. Because
Yeah.
I saw what happened to Clark and I was like, but I feel like I would thrive in that setting, to be honest. I don't know why, but I'm
What?
convinced.
How?
Yeah. Well, we'll get into later why I think I could survive and not go, what happened to Clark. But if I saw a backrooms location, I would text you, be like, hey, check this out. I found a backrooms location, but I'm not going in. I mean, absolutely not. Um, but for me, like some of the highlights with the Backrooms was I really liked the acting. The two main leads are really good. The story's really good about like there's that relatability while also getting some, the horror vibes from the Backrooms lore. That was really cool. The score is amazing. I love the relatable issues like we just talked about. I love the buildup. I love the fact that we don't get everything in the beginning. Like they really I know that this could be excruciating for a lot of people because some people I saw say it's boring, but to me, I like that a lot of slow moving parts of this movie. That's the only way the Backrooms can work. You can't
Yeah.
just get everything up front because it has to terrorize you. It has to make you feel like when you're in an empty area. So
Yeah.
some weird reality. It's basically you went into a world where people don't know how to actually do architecture and they just threw a bunch of shit on the wall. Like, you know that like the thing about like you throw something against the wall and hope it sticks. That's what the
Yeah.
Backrooms is to me. It's probably whatever Lua was hitting with her edible. I'm just kidding. She doesn't do this, by the way. I keep saying this, but that's what it would be like. Someone taking an edible and be like, "Let me make shit up in the Backrooms." Um, I love the unsettling vibe of it. Like, there's a vibe where like I
Yeah.
never know what's gonna happen, and that is to me like when it comes to horror movies. I don't get scared about like seeing things. It's what I cannot see that freaks me out.
Yeah. I love
Yeah,
scary movies like that. Mhm.
Exactly, and then, I think that for the most part, a lot of the slow buildup paid off. I don't know if it fully did, but I think they did a very good job, and I think the cinematography, the way it's filmed, it's nuts. Now, we talked about the highlights, so let's move over to what was there anything I know you mentioned something earlier, but is there anything else about the Backrooms you disliked?
It would have been cool to see a little bit more of like the pool areas of the back rooms. There's different locations in back rooms. That would have been cool to see, those different types of areas, not just the yellow space.
Yes, because let me tell you, Lou and I love the back room. We like the yellow spaces, but we really are into the pools and the birthday. I don't know if that's in the original
Oh
lore, but
yeah,
there's a lot
yeah.
of yeah, I love the birthday because the birthday party scenes always freak me out in the games. I don't know if
Yeah.
that's in the entire lore, but I hope that there's something like that. But the pools, we've definitely experienced the pools while that gigantic alien looking thing has chased us, and we're like, what the hell? Like, yeah, I did get excited when they mentioned the pools and we see it briefly. I think the only thing I didn't particularly like about the Backrooms was, and it's toward the end, and I'll talk more about it, but just to allude to it, was the ending is good because they do something unexpected, but for some reason it didn't make my jaw drop like it should have. Like I felt like I should have been like, oh, what the fuck? But I was
Yeah.
just like, I was like this. Oh, okay, we're gonna do that, huh? Maybe it didn't fully. I feel like it did the slow build up for a majority of the movie, and then toward the end, I felt like they could have maybe built that up a little bit more to really get the effect of like your jaw drops because like those movies where like something so crazy happens where you're like, wait, what? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, what? Like it's nuts, and then you're just like you can't stop thinking about it. And I felt like that the Backrooms does a good job of how it ends, but it's not like it's not jaw dropping like how the movie kind of feels like it's trying to do. So that would be my only issue. And I guess maybe exploring. Yeah, I feel like I think you and I want to see the pools and we want to see the birthday, but I feel like they had to, even if we want it, I feel like they had to do it like this because they just need people to understand there's a lot of yellow shit going on. Before we get to the other messed up parts, there's a
Yeah.
lot of yellow shit going on here. Um, and so going to talking about the back rooms, what do you think was the most insane scenario of this movie? Like what part of the movie where you're like, this is fucking wild. Absolutely not doing this.
Absolutely not doing this would be I mean the whole thing I wouldn't go in there, but like when the guy was um what is his name? Clark, when he cuts
Mhm.
that the guy's stomach and he's like, "Oh, you can eat this." That's ridiculous. What?
Perfect that you brought this up because this is one of my questions. So you're saying is like you're in the back, like you and I are in the back rooms, right? And there's not really much to eat, and we could eat each other, but that would just that'd be a very lonely existence. I don't think either one of us would do it, even in the worst situations. Like
Yeah, no.
I think we would die by dark humor. Like we're both like, all right, let me get the last joke in before we die. You know what I mean? Like, and you're like, no, 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 I want to go first. It's like, it's just it's like it's so ridiculous. Yeah, the cutting when he cuts that guy and I see him
Mhm.
put it on the plate and I'm like, that looks disgusting. Now, so you would not eat that. Like, what if you're starving? You wouldn't just cut it and eat him?
Like what's the mind process of thinking, "You know what? Maybe I'm gonna cut this guy and eat him first." Like, where do you get that from? Why
I'll
would
t-
you cut somebody open to try to eat them? Even
I'll
if
tell
you
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 where
don't know they're human or not.
I'll tell you what happens. That's what happens when you only go to therapy twice. When you get to that 3rd session, you're no longer cutting people up. You're like, "I'm mature enough to know that's not right." I actually would I don't know if I would well, I probably would have to eat it because I don't really, this is not really revealed, I guess, up until now, but I'm type 2 diabetic. I'm concerned if I'm in the back rooms because I need to maintain that blood sugar. I don't know
Yeah.
if those still lifes are nutritious enough for me, or they're gonna be like carbs as soon as I eat it. I'm like, look, get me my pills. I'm about to pass out. Like this is
Yeah.
holy shit. Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of concerned. Like oh no, I don't know. I probably would eat it and just see how things went, but like. I would be like after a while, I'd be like, can I get something nutritious? Like I need something different. Like I've been eating nothing but still lives. Like, can I get some real life? Like, come on here. Um,
At least
but I
you'd
guess
have
for me,
something to drink.
yeah, like, but for me,
Be honest.
the most insane scenario to me is Mary going into the back rooms to go look for her
Yeah.
for like she's a really good doctor though. I should give her credit. She does there is a concern and then she's proven wrong obviously when she goes in there. But like to me, I'm just like as soon as I dip my toe in there if I'm the therapist and I see like, oh shit, he was right. I immediately back out and go, I'm calling the cops. I'm not doing this.
Right?
No way am I going in there. But then again, like you have to think of it like in the movie why she has to do it. But there's also we are all curious. Even if you and I go in the back rooms and we decide fuck this, we're not going in it. There's a part of you that will sit there for 10 seconds and go, "Holy shit. Who the fuck painted this yellow? This is ugly as shit." And why the
Yeah.
fuck is yeah, like that's my first initial reaction is like that's terrible. But I would be curious at first like why is this all like this? But then I'm like like Clark talks about this with the therapist during one of his sessions after he's been exploring for a while, where he says like, "I don't find anybody in there. I just keep going deeper and deeper, but I hear footsteps. I hear footsteps and I don't see
Oh my god.
somebody. I'm done. There's no way that
Absolutely not.
yeah. I'm like once I hear footsteps and I'm like, I'm not even one of those people, by the way, like, when you're in let's say you're in the back rooms and you hear footsteps or you see, like, that guy who would say, like, whatever he was saying in the message
Yeah.
of, like, different languages, do you see that person and you don't know for sure if that's a real person or not, do you think you would say, like, "Hello, hello," or you're just
God
like,
no.
"I'm" No, yeah, this is why we're friends because 'cause we're like, "No, we're not gonna be like" you and I see that, and I'm like, Are we leaving?" And you're like, "Yeah, we're out." Like, I'm not going near that thing, I don't know. Um
I would have already been out before you could even ask.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that's actually here's a good question. You and I are in the back rooms. We enter the back rooms. Who do you think should be the leader to explore the back rooms?
Oh, I, I'm gonna say me.
I I wanna say you too because if you play games with Lou and I am the worst. I'm the worst at driving. I'm the worst at, like I
Yeah.
will get lost, and I will get distracted, and, yeah, I would have to be like Lou would have to lead because she's really good at puzzle games. We'll play puzzle games, and I can't figure it out, and she'll be like, "Hold on here, I got this." Yeah, she would have to navigate, but in the event that we ran into Pirate Clark, remember he's the big
Uh-huh.
baddie. Okay, we're running or into a still life. Who do you think has the better chance of escaping the backrooms first, you or I?
Me. Still.
And there's dude, I have gigantic calves, dude. This is what I was made for. Like this is my only moment. I am hightailing it out there, and then like I hear you in the background, like, hold on.
Not even
I'm like,
close, dude.
I would be like, this is me turning around. I'd be like, haul ass. Let's go. Let's
I've been
go. Yeah,
jumping walls trying to get the hell out of there.
yeah. I would beat you. I would literally beat you to the exit, and then I'm like as you're like taking 30 seconds to come join me, I'm over here like, Lua, hurry the fuck up. I can't figure out where the entrance is. And you're like, dude, I drew it. It's right next to you. Like, oh shit. And it just goes right through. Um, but with Pirate Clark, when that's revealed, let's talk about Pirate Clark here because we're bouncing around. We're gonna bounce around for all kinds of things here. Pirate Clark, when you saw what Pirate Clark, because they like talk about like like you knew something was in there, you didn't know what it
Mhm.
was. What did you think it was, and then what was your reaction when you finally realized it's just basically Clark as his Pirate Clark of his job, his furniture store mascot?
Yeah. I initially thought it was gonna be that big black monster. But it ended up being, that Pirate Clark, and So that's where I was a little disappointed.
Oh, but you have to give them credit though. The way they made the mascot, it looked like the hat he wears, it looks like that creature's head. They did a really good job because
Yeah,
you couldn't tell. Yeah, I wasn't. I guess was I disappointed? No, I was just kind of freaked out because I was like, "What the hell?" I've never feared pirates in my life. I've never looked at a pirate and be like, "Oh my god, that's terrifying." Him popping out in that toward the end, I'm like, and then, like, Clark's like, Yo, I got this." I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, "You got nothing. That thing does not look like it even speaks." Like, it was terrifying to me. And then when he's chasing her, my heart is racing because 'cause I'm like, "What
I
in the
know.
hell?" Because it is a freaky looking thing, but the thing is, it's really fast for having a peg leg. There's like, in
Yeah,
my mind, I'm like, I could easily outrun him with a peg leg. Like, he's not getting me. He's not getting me. Okay, like there's no way. I could be panicked, but when I'm in that flight or fight mode, I'm taking off. But I like the whole thing. So let's say, for instance, you're in the back rooms, okay, and we get to you end up running into your still life, and it turns out to be something as horrific as like I guess a giant version of Lua. Um, you know what is like we're in the back rooms. Are you gonna be like Clark, like hold on, I got this? Or you're like, let's get the fuck out of here.
hell no. I mean, like, let's get the hell out of here. That bitch is gross. I'm just kidding.
And I'm over here like, that's you. That's you. Oh my god. Um, with my luck, I would be like, yeah, I would join you. I'd be like, don't even speak to that thing. Let's get out of here. Now, if it, like, here's a good one. Here's a good one. It turns out to be my still life, and instead of being this depressed mess, he's like the happiest guy, and he's just like,
Yeah,
"Hey," he's like, "Hey, like, what's up?" Like, he's just smiling at us. He's just like, "Hello," and he's just like super jacked up.
that's
Are we
even
talking?
scarier.
Yeah. Do you think we're talking to him, or we're just like still
Nah,
running?
nah, run.
I wish I could say that. A part of me goes, "Why are you so happy? This isn't me."
No.
What are you happy about? Why? Because you're finally 6 foot tall? Like, what is like? I would just be like, as I'm running, I'm turning around asking him questions like, "Do you have any regrets? Do you go to therapy? Why do you have better hair than me?" It's like you're over here like, you're like, "Dude, let's go, let's go!" Like, oh my god, dude, yeah. This is why we had to do the backwards with Lua because this is what you're getting ridiculous, like what the hell scenarios. Like, what this has nothing to do with the movie. Um, in the movie though, there is a scene where Clark convinces his two employees, Bobby and Kat, to go into the back rooms with him. He goes to Kat's apartment, and it turns out they're banging. I never got that vibe. Did you get that vibe that they were hooking up?
Yeah?
This is why you're on the podcast.
What the heck?
I didn't get that vibe. I did not get that vibe. Wow, man, dude, I've fallen on. Back in the day, I would have been like, "Oh yeah, they're totally hooking up." Now, I'm like, dude, I don't even know who they are.
You can't even
Um,
tell?
no, I couldn't. I did not tell. I could not tell. And then when like I saw that, but like he's like, "I'll pay you guys overtime for research." Well, let's say we're working security, and our boss Rebecca's like, "Hey, I need you guys to come down here. We're gonna do research." Is that and I'll pay
Sounds
you.
sexual.
Wow, we're really going for it, aren't we, Lou? Wow, that wow. I didn't think you were gonna say that's a really good. That's a joke she would not. I didn't think she would say on the podcast. That was crazy. Um, that's hilarious. So that's what you honestly think it would be? That like, would you tell her this? Like,
We
what is that? Like, what
Yeah,
is your?
I would. We're gonna go over here in the back, and we're gonna do research. What does that sound like to you?
I'm over here like, I know we're getting overtime, but are we getting back pay too? Um, I would honestly, there's no way Rebecca could get me to do it. I would just be like, wait, what is the research? And Lua just threw out an innuendo, so I'm kind of wondering, is there something going on that I don't know about that the other employees are doing? Because I
Yeah,
saw
it's
Mike and
actually
George
called the
earlier.
back door. Um,
Oh my goodness. Yeah, no, there's no way. Like in all seriousness, she could be like, "I'll pay you guys overtime." I'm like, I'm not going. I'll just do my 80-hour shift that I've already signed up for. There's no way because I'm
Yeah.
like, what does that mean? Like, what do you want me to do? And
What
she's
if they were like, "I'm gonna pay you $200 an hour." Would you do it?
for research? No. If it has anything to do with going through a portal, I'm telling you. Listen, listen. There's a lot listen. I have some integrity. I know that $200 might be enticing, but anybody who says to me, "Go through this portal, I'll pay you $200." gotta be honest, that's not happening. Yeah, I mean, if I can see what's on the other side, maybe, but like if I peek my head in and I see yellow shit everywhere, I'm like, no, I'm out. I don't know why, but yellow is immediate turn off for me. Like, no, no, no. But we do what happens with the employees when they go and we get the really cool found footage aspect of the back rooms, which I really love because that's a thing that happens. How cool was that to see the found footage? And then my heart's racing because I'm like, what are they gonna find? I love the '90s aesthetic to it. And then we saw as we get into this, let's talk about the deaths here. We saw what happened to Bobby. Bobby
Yeah,
gets taken down. Did you feel bad for Bobby?
I did a little bit.
Now, like it's crazy though. Is like the way that goes down is like they all fall down there and like I don't know, I've never panicked like that where like as soon as something's happening, I just immediately just take off running because if I'm with somebody, I might just turn around like, come on, let's go. Like, but I've never been that frantic. What about you? Do you think that there's somebody that could get you to go run that frantic in there and you're like, holy shit, they're gone? Like, would you take off like that?
Wait, are you saying, like, if I was with somebody and they got taken down, would I be frantic about it?
Yeah, let's say it's you and I in the back rooms.
Yeah.
Who's that third person that who's the one who got taken down? Like, I don't know. Who do you think should we do like work should we do work wise? Like pick someone from the work
Sure, yeah,
and
go
see
for
if
it.
okay, let's say it's George. George gets taken down. We all go down in there and he just disappears. We see him get dragged into that door and it shuts. What are we doing? Are you immediately getting up chasing like George, where'd you go? Like are you immediately taking off
You know,
without me or are you just
I'll probably be like, "George, what's up? What's going on?" And then if I get no response within 3 seconds, I'm out, you know?
Out where? We can't even we can't climb up that steep thing. Like, in what world do you think you and I
Well,
are like rock climbers? Like, this is me, George. Is there a plethora of things over there that we could possibly get out of? I would just be like, Lou, we gotta go. Like, I would not leave you. I'd be like, I would just get you up. And be like, we gotta get the f out because
yeah,
as soon
we're you and I are gonna get out together. I don't know where, but we're gonna go somewhere. Gotta
I
survive.
I I love her. I love her honesty that she's like, "We're doing this together." I think we're not getting out, but we're dying together for sure. But
Yeah.
like, we're not splitting up. Um, but yeah, that's crazy. So like, let's say you're like, like when Clark comes and talks to his therapist and he shows her the map and he's talking to her about the the back rooms. Like if you were Mary Klein's character and you're hearing this, like, is there any is there any chance that you might possibly believe this? Because he seems sincere about it. I mean, he's crazy for sure. It sounds
Uh-huh.
ridiculous, but do you think you would have believed a part of it? Like, mm,
No, I probably would've been like, "I believe that you believe it," you know? I wouldn't say that, but that's how I would feel. I don't think that I would, I don't think I would believe them, you know?
yeah, I mean, a part of me might believe, like, okay, like I would say, like, I think you believe it, but like, is there any way you can bring me some proof? And he's like, well, you want to come with me for research? I'm like, no, but you can
Yeah,
bring me
cool.
proof, sir. Um, But yeah, like I mean, the backrooms is interesting because like Mary Klein's trauma, as we talked about, is she carries around this like she constantly deals with things. Like she's at a party, right? And she can't function, right? Like she's like she sees a lady and her kid, and she immediately is transported back to her own trauma with her own mom. And I kept wondering what like I kept wondering to myself like what is going to resolve her trauma,
Mhm.
and well, I don't know if it fully got resolved, but I'll say this though: carrying around that rock of the handprint
Well,
sure as hell paid off, right? When
it
it came to
did.
Pirate Clark, yeah.
Did.
Like, um, is that? Do you think maybe that's the message of the movie? Is like we need to carry our unresolved trauma until we run into Pirate Clark, and then we need to just whack that person with it, and that might be the solve it. But let's talk about Mary going into the back rooms. So she goes and looks for Clark and she goes to the store and the door she opens the door and there's a bunch of bills. We don't know how long it's been because it's different time. The time is different, I believe, in the back rooms. And she goes downstairs because you see the light flickering and all that. And I don't know, B, one of the coolest shots. This is one of my favorite things about the movie. Outside the writing and the acting and just the whole the whole lore is when she goes through the back goes through the furniture door to the back rooms, that cool transition shot where it follows her,
Oh,
that
yeah,
is
yeah, yeah, that
nuts.
was cool. Mhm.
Yeah, like, was there any other, like, visually, was there any other, like, part of the cinematography that you really dug in was there any shots that you're like, "That was pretty impressive?"
Um, Now I can't think of anything off the top of my head.
Lou is like, "What is cinematography?" What did I tell you about using big words? No,
I could I
here's
could tell
I
you
think
things that I didn't care for, I guess.
okay, yeah, go ahead. Let's hear that.
Well, okay, I like the part with the POV of the camera, that's pretty
Mhm.
cool, but sometimes it's, like, a little too much where I'm like, "Oh my god, I can't even tell what I'm looking at," you know?
Okay, that's very different from me because I love the POV shots of like how the camera would pan from one area because it just gave me a really unsettling vibe. Like the whole time I'm watching this, I'm like, I don't like the way it's looking because it's just like I didn't think liminal horror would really freak me out because I've never found it very scary. But in this movie, I'm kind of terrified because I'm just like you're just looking at nothing and
Yeah,
you're just
yeah.
like but yeah, I personally loved it. I didn't think there was I was like, you can give me more of it, but I also love it's kind of like a third person shot where you would see them walking and they're walking towards you. I love that too because you never knew what was going to happen in this movie. Like there's this real unpredictability factor with it because you're like, we haven't seen these creatures. We hear things, like for instance, like another aspect that I liked was when Clark met the still lifes. Right, he meets the still lifes in this like really weird Christmas setting. Right, remember there's like that Christmas
Yeah,
tree
yeah.
and that freaked me out. I gotta be honest. Like that freaked me out. It was just like, whoa, what the hell is that? Like, you know what I mean? I don't blame
Yeah.
him for booking it. In terms of the horror aspect, was there any jump scares that got you in the back rooms?
Definitely, like, when they were dragged down to the bottom and then I don't know, that really got me. It was all loud and I don't know.
That edible is really kicking in. It's not, I'm being kidding. She's not even taking an edible. That's just who she is. You know what got me? I saw it twice. So I saw it right yesterday. You know what got me? It got me twice. Was the first jump scare. The first jump scare where we see the guy with the found footage and the research guy from Async, the company that explores the back rooms,
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
and I knew it was coming. I just want to state this. He's an idiot. Okay, you know you're screwed. You don't need to run toward it. Just let it come to you and devour you. You might have a 2% chance of going between the legs, maybe. But like that jump scare got me so bad was when he runs to it and you don't see what it is. It just attacks him and I'm just like
Yeah,
it and it got me so bad on that second showing and I knew it was coming and I jumped so badly that the people on my row looked over at me like, "Whoa, like it's okay." Like yeah, we got a rookie in here, and I'm like, this is my second showing. I did like that jump scare. None of the other jump scares really got me. It's just, it definitely had an unsettling vibe to it through the whole
yeah.
time, and I think visually, that was it. Let's see here. I have some other. Did you like any of the acting performances? Was anything stood out to you?
Yeah, I mean, I think they're all pretty good, you know?
Yeah, yeah, maybe never take an edible before you I'm just kidding, she's not taking an edible. With Clark's alcoholism, I feel like that was a very big part of his issues and a big part of the Backrooms. It really was basically a driving force of what Pilot Clark would become, and also, like, what did you think of his alcoholism? Because I was just like, "Bro, stop drinking. Jesus
Yeah,
Christ."
seriously. And he
Yeah,
clearly
like,
didn't, like, accept as that being a problem in his marriage, like, he just blamed everything on the
y
wife and all that.
I sympathize with the fact that he had bitterness and resentment, but I think he didn't understand and this is they talk about this in the movie, but in the role playing, he doesn't ever seem to take any blame.
Yeah,
Okay, he doesn't yeah, like and I'm not one of those people that's gonna sit there and just shit on Clark. I think that he wasn't 100% a good guy. He just needed help. He
yeah,
just needed to get help. I don't think like I just felt like he needed help because he could have been on a new path because Mary Klein's whole thing is she has this like these tapes that can help you forge a new path to find yourself when you finally get through your trauma, which is 24.99 with shipping and handling or plus shipping and handling, by the way. Uh, um, but yeah, like his alcoholism, I was just like, dude, like as somebody who experiences some of the things that he was upset about, I don't think I've ever blamed the other person. In fact, I think you know me well enough. I take a lot of that blame on me, and I was just like, "Listen, man, just take some of that blame." But the backrooms. Do you think like one of the things about this movie that I thought was fascinating with the backrooms is Clark is fragile. It's not an understatement. He's fragile. He's a mess. He wanted to be an architect. he believes he's an architect. He just happens to temporarily work at a hold on, I don't know why I did quotes. It's not going to be in the video, but I'm doing quotes. He's temporarily an architect or a furniture salesman, but he's really an architect. Um, I'm just like, things didn't work out for Clark. And a lot of people can understand that. We've all failed. When you have life experience, by the way. But I have to ask this. Do you think that the Backrooms took Clark to further madness by being in there?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, we did see what happened to him, but I feel like I feel like he could have been helped if he didn't succumb to his demons. Because he sits there and he says, it's funny. He said something in the movie that I wondered if you picked up that I have said to you. Was he talks about being alone, that he thinks he's just better off being alone. And I think you can confirm I have
Yeah.
said this to you.
Yes.
Yeah. Would you say that Clark and I are similar in that arena in terms of how we feel about it? Because I don't think I was 100% on the same page of him of being alone. I don't think I wasn't angry as much as he was. Um, is there any similarities to that from what I've told you?
I mean, you definitely have said you're better off alone. And I
Maybe
always
not as,
say,
but
"No, man."
no, man, you're just one step away from getting better. I'm just like, hey, Lou, I found this room full of back rooms and I'm having the time of my life. Yeah, there was a part of me that felt bad for him because I was just like, dude, you need to get out of the back rooms and get back into therapy because you could really turn your life around. You could be an architect if you want.
Yeah.
But you need to what you need to do is stop drinking, admit that you caused some of your the reason why you're unhappy in life is because it's partly you. And I still think he could have been redeemed, but of course he just decided to go play in the back rooms. And I think if I'm correct, I'm pretty sure he ate cat. He ate part of cat in that back rooms
Oh my
because
god, yeah, I
yeah.
just barely thought of that. That's crazy.
Let's get to the ending here. So in the ending, Mary goes in there and she's looking for Clark, and we see Clark do this really strange Michael Myers thing from like the original Halloween, where he kind of like pops out,
Yeah,
and yeah, and then he kind of retreats. And I'm not gonna lie to you, that terrified me. That is one of the most
that
terrifying
was
aspects.
weird, yeah.
Yeah, because then you're like, ooh, like there's a moment where you're like, I don't know if this was the right choice. Like you fucked up in life when you're like, why is somebody I might recognize tiptoeing around like that? Like, and it seems like Clark is normal, right? We think he's normal, and then we
Yeah,
hear that creature because he's like, you're not being quiet enough. And then I'm just like, oh my God. So then I thought that the creature was coming. We're like, oh, here we go. And then Clark turns out to be he's succumbed to his madness. He refuses to deal with his issues, and he's lost it. So then she wakes up tied up, and then we meet all the still lifes in there, and he's just like, here's some. You want some food? Let me just cut one of them up. And then I love how he says he keeps talking about how like they don't. So basically, still lifes are the back rooms remembers them. But it's like, hold on here. I have this quote. The quote from the movie, by the way. This is one of the most brilliant quotes I've seen in a long time because it's a perfect way to describe this movie here. When he goes to therapy after experiencing the backrooms, she asks him like questions about it. And he says something like it's like describing a dog to someone who's never seen one before and then asking them to draw it. And of course, when you do that, you're gonna miss out details. And so these still lifes are basically that's basically what they are, is the backrooms remembers them, but it doesn't fully get the details right. So they look very, very strange. And I'm not gonna lie to you, the multiple eyes freaked me out with one of them.
yeah,
But if you notice though, and I wonder if did you pick this up when you saw the woman in the final scene where it resembles his wife in the one photo because she has red hair,
yeah,
and so yeah, and so Clark at this point has lost it, and he wants to. It goes back to the beginning of the movie. He wants to do this role playing assignment where he wants to vent his feelings. Except it's not as therapeutic. It's more or less like borderline insane, like insanity. And then Clark decides to do something very strange. He gets up and he scalps somebody, and then
yeah,
he puts the wig on her, and like if you were in that situation, like let's say it can't be me because I would thrive in this arena, and I'll tell you why in a second. But
you would
let's
not.
say it's some yes, I would absolutely thrive in this. I would not go mad. But like you wake up, you're the therapist, and you see Clark, and then he's making you do this role scenario. Do you feel confident that you're going to survive this?
No.
No.
No, because I don't think
Are
I
you
could talk my way out.
are you regretting your life choices by going into that back rooms when you
Oh,
wake up
hell
like
yeah.
a yeah. I was like, "You're an idiot." But, it has to happen because it's a movie, but, yeah, if I woke up in that scenario, that would be that'd be sheer pure terror. I'd be like, "Oh my god." Like, Mister, I think about every scenario. I'm one of those people that thinks about everything before it happens. How did I end up in this situation? But you have to end up they end up role playing, and he is definitely a lot different from the beginning of the movie where the anger has doubled down.
Mhm.
He there's a lot more resentment and bitterness, and now he doesn't feel he's wrong in this, as and he's kind of like getting crazy. And I have to give Mary Klein credit because she really holds it down because she still gets into therapy mode and kind of basically got him to react. And she basically is like, why you're all fucked up because you don't take accountability. And he's just like,
Yeah,
what
yeah.
did you say to me? Like, and that was true though. That was true. He didn't take accountability. But then he said something that just broke me was when he said, I like being in here. I think this is where I belong. That is not a person that has come to an epiphany. That is a person who is self-defeated, right? Like that
Oh,
was
yeah, for
exactly
sure.
yeah, that's when I really felt for him because I still think he's wrong for what he did, but this is a person who really he needs to get his mental health fixed because this is a person who's lost their mind. Because people, I tell Lou all the time, like I should be alone, but you should not be alone. If I would tell everyone else that you shouldn't be alone. You should seek help if you're going through something. So for him to say that, I'm just like, oh my god, dude, you've lost it. And then Mary was like, well, then let me go. And then you don't know for sure when he gets up. I didn't know for sure if he's gonna let her
I
go. I'm like, oh
know,
my
yeah. Yeah.
like, what was, did you think what was the outcome when he got up? Did you think that he was gonna let her go, or you were convinced he was gonna kill her?
That's tough. Yeah, because the way they made it, it was hard to really know for sure exactly what was gonna happen next, but, I'm glad that he actually let her go.
Yeah, but the downfall is as soon as he cuts off one thing, we hear those footsteps, and we got
Yeah.
Pirate Clark showing up, and then he's like, "I'm a negotiator. I got this. We're boys. We're the same guy." Like, no. And then as soon as Pirate Clark picks him up and bit him,
Yeah.
and then the still lifes are all freaking out. And I'm not gonna lie to you, Kane Parsons, the director, did this. He filmed this. It was perfect how they filmed this. Is the way Mary reacts, where she's just hugging the wall, because you just want to book it, but you can't because you're just in utter terror because you're like, what the fuck is that? Like you didn't expect a pirate to come out, and she's just booking it, and then that thing is chasing her through different parts of the thing, and and she falls and she stumbles and she's trying to figure a way out. And I'm not gonna lie to you, that is one of the most exciting yet like this just straight up horrifying experiences because
Yeah.
I didn't know where she was gonna go, and then she ends up in a version of the furniture store where she can't leave. And then Pirate Clark shows up and she's finding it, right? Like she's like it's crazy to watch this. And she finds a little opening and she gets in there. Let me tell you, I'm not really are you claustrophobic?
No, I wouldn't say so.
No, I wouldn't say so either. But when she went into that thing, I was like, "Oh my god!" Like there was a lot of like in my mind because like she could barely squeeze in there, so I know my fat ass couldn't get in there. um, um,
Me either.
I know yeah, I for sure am not getting into that. I would be like, is there, is there, you guys got a little bigger wedge for me to come in? Like, hold on here. Like, this isn't right. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like only skinny people can go through here. This is bullshit.
I could probably run
uh,
between 2 skyscrapers.
Yeah, I'm over here like I'm taking off my shoes as Clark's coming. Like, hold on, let me see if I can get a toe into this. Um, yeah, that was horrifying. And then we get the reveal. We didn't really talk much about it, but there's a company called Async, and they end up basically something. Those little weird guys, those cavemen with speak voices. Basically, she tripped over something during this whole exchange before she goes in there, and it's kind of I guess puts out like kind of like a gas that passes them out, and she basically falls down. We see all these guys, and then she wakes up and she's getting debriefed by Phil, who we had seen throughout the whole movie, who's works at Async, and she gets debriefed, and he's just trying to get answers out of her without really telling her what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So, what did you think of this part of the ending? What did you think of the ending as I'm going through all this? But like, what did you think overall with the ending? Your thoughts, and were you happy with it?
I was, I don't know. I was kind of surprised when, it showed that she was I don't know if it was a memory of her in the back rooms or if that they made her like that and kept her in the back rooms, you know?
Okay, this is good. This is good. So, but you like the what I talked about with Clark and her being chased. Did you like that part of the movie? Like the whole buildup of that?
Oh, yeah. That was intense.
Like that was
Oh, yeah.
fulfilling for you?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was
Okay.
nice.
Now,
Good build up.
y- yeah, I thought it was really good. I thought it was if you were like if you're patient with this movie and you're like I hope something happens, I think that fulfills everything you want for the most
Yeah.
part. You talk about her, yeah, she gets to brief and then she kind of smiles and then we see different images of the backroom world, and there's parts of her life and parts of this of that city we saw in the back rooms. So then your heart's going like, why is she smiling? And then like you're like, oh my god. And then we see her, and she's this really weird looking still life. And I think you nailed it. I think it is a memory of her. So I believe it took me two showings, but I believe that she did get. I think Async has her for sure, and it's a memory her still life is remembering a part of that, but it's not clearly because it's
Yeah,
remember
yeah.
with the yeah. But we don't know what happened to Mary, but we know for sure the back rooms. She's forever in those back rooms, and it's creepy looking, and then it just ends, and you're just like, oh. So my issue with the movie, as I said in the beginning, was the buildup of that is all good until we get to Async, and I'm just like, I felt like there was a little bit there that wasn't fully. It didn't grasp me where I would have been like, holy shit, no way she's stuck in the back. Like it just kind of it built all this up, and then when we got to that reveal, it kind of felt like a little bit of a whimper. If that makes sense. Like I was just like,
Yeah.
oh, because I've seen other movies build that better, where you're like, oh, like something so twisted happens, you're like, oh, what the hell? But it's still decent, and I think it's a good first entry. But something I kept saying that I never brought up is why I would survive in the back rooms is I can deal with being alone. I don't particularly like it. I've dealt with being alone and loneliness a lot in my life. I could thrive in that setting as long as my still life is not Pirate Clark. If it's a happy version of me, I think I can handle him for a little bit. But truth be told, I think the still life would die before I do because after a while, I'd be like, "You're too
What?
fucking happy. Enough of the shit with you." He's just staring at me. He's like, "Yeah," and I'm just like, "I'm gonna put a pillow over you in a little bit for sure." Yeah, I think I could survive the backrooms. I don't think I would go insane, but I would thrive in there because I just be like, I would just sit there dealing with my own. I wouldn't go mad like Clark because I beat myself up a lot as it is. I'm very hard and pessimistic on myself. That backrooms is not gonna do anything to me as long as the still life is not creepy. Now, if it's creepy, I'm fucked. I'm done.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
If unless what if my still life is the same version of me? Like how messed up would that be? The still life is
Ooh,
is the same is the same version of me and he's sitting there telling me my problems and I'm go like, bro, I've been down this rodeo
I lived
before.
it.
Yeah, I lived it. You just remembered part of it. It's like trying to describe no, I was just kidding. Um, but yeah, I thought it
But
was a good first yeah.
would you
I thought it
would
was
you
a
stay in that area or would you explore, you know?
well, this is a very good question. I think that would be my base, but, like, the thing that really makes me uncomfortable throughout it is those still lifes freak me out, and then I don't know what my version is. So, like, that is always gonna make me not want to go too far into the backrooms because we know a little bit about the backrooms lore, and there's other fucked up things in there, and that's why
Mhm.
I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, because if I end up walking into a birthday party, I'm like, "Oh,
Oh my
no."
god, that is terrifying.
Yeah. Yes, you know what I mean? Or, like, even the pools, I'm like, "Oh god." Like, I know how to swim, but, like, I don't know what's in there. You
That's
know what I
what
mean?
you
So I
were
think I think, and it's like, that'd be the only time I can go in the pools and not have to worry. I'm not wearing a shirt when I go in the pool, guys.
imagine it being
Yeah.
like some of the backroom games that we played and you have to go down to like the pools in the dark area and you have to like find valves to turn on, stuff like that and while being chased. That'd be nuts. Kill
I
me.
w yeah, I w yeah, I if you're not in there, I'm for sure dead. If you're in there, there's a 50% chance I'm making it. Yeah, because you're good at the valves where
Oh
I'm
no,
just
I'd
running
be
around in circles. What about you? You think you would stay in that one area that Clark was in, or you think you would explore?
God, that's terrifying. I don't even uh if there was no enemy, like no bad things, then I'd probably explore. But knowing that there is stuff, I probably would not. I would try to look for a way out if possible.
Yeah, I think I'm with you, and I'm never if I get out, I'm like I'm calling my therapist immediately, like, "We're doing 2 sessions a week, doc." Out of 100%, what would you give the Backrooms?
I would say it'd be between like a 97 or 98, only because I really wanted to see that really, that bad, the big black monster.
The alien, he's to me, it reminds me of the alien monster, that's the best way I could describe it. It looks like an anorexic version of the alien
Yeah, yeah.
xenomorph.
Or like a
Yeah,
little
yeah,
squiggly drawn man.
yeah. So you're giving it that high of a rating? 90? Did you
I
say
really liked
90?
it. Yeah.
Hell yeah. I would okay, this is gonna make you laugh. I would give this a 78. I
Big
liked it
fan
a
of my vote.
lot. I loved it. I did. Don't get me wrong. I loved it, but like I feel like this is a good way to start the Backrooms. Now, when we get to this, now they are in talks of doing a sequel. It's in the works because it
I
made so
hope
much
so.
money. It made, it is. It made a ton of money. It's insane. I think the Backrooms 2 has a really good opportunity to really dive deeper into the lore and then get really, really far into the atmospheric, the claustrophobia, the creatures, explore different
Oh,
parts. We
I
haven't,
would love that.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, but like, yeah, at the end of the day, I think it's a really good movie, and I think if you're patient, it's rewarding. So my last question would be: would you rewatch this, and or would you own it on physical media?
I would definitely rewatch. Yep. I don't really buy any physical media anymore, but I would rewatch for sure.
Okay, definitely would rewatch, and probably will buy it. I think it's awesome, and I'm glad it lived up to the hype for both of us because that would have been such a downer, right? We text each other
Oh
like
my
that
god,
movie
yeah.
was 2 packs of ass. Like, it was so bad, like, you know? Oh my god, like, talk about still life, that thing didn't even move. No, just kidding. Um, but that concludes the Backrooms, which this has gotta be the strangest episode for people who listen to the podcast. I gotta be honest, this might have been my, for sure, me at my 100% with my humor. But yeah, thank you for coming on. Now, I usually ask this with all my guests, but I don't know for sure if you have anything. And if you don't, it's cool. But Lou, if people are like, "Hey, I want to follow you. I want to know what edibles you were taking
Oh
during this,"
man.
just kidding. She wasn't taking edibles, but it feels like it. Um, is there anywhere people can follow you, or they just have to come back when you come back on this podcast? This is the only way we're going to be able to find you.
This is it, baby. This is it.
Someone's gonna message me like, "How old is Lua?" Like she's talking like a teenager. Like this is it. Like come over here. But yeah, thank you. But seriously, thank you so much for coming on because like I could not have done Backrooms with anybody else. Like this was a fun episode, and I think the Backrooms you have to have a little bit fun because clearly nobody's having fun except Clark. um, but that concludes the Backrooms, and thank you, Lua. And we will definitely be seeing you back. Right? We definitely want you to come back.
Yeah. Yeah, if I'm
Okay.
wanted, I'm home.
You're definitely wanted. We just hope that you don't take 3 months to come back. Thank you so much, Lua, for coming on, and she will be back. Hopefully, the giggles are too. I'm telling you, it is so funny when you listen to this because you're probably listening to this going like she's totally on something, and I cannot stress this enough. She's not. She's high off life. But this concludes the episode of Tomorrow Comes Movies. I hope that you enjoyed this. I definitely want to tackle more films released in theaters currently. I want to tackle anything that drops in theaters if I can. I hope that we're going to be able to do that because I know these movie series or a lot of the films are been out for a while, and so I would like to tackle more upcoming releases or whatever is currently playing. So if you would like to come on to the show and you're somebody I know in real life or a Twitter mutual who I maybe haven't reached out to, or I have reached out and you weren't ready to come on, maybe you were busy or you just passed at the time and you're interested now, please reach out, on social media, or just text me if you know me in real life, and let's do it. Just remember it's a video and audio podcast. Unless you're not comfortable, then we can just do audio. Like this episode is an audio only release. And I highly encourage people to come on here. Like I said, at the end of the day, it's just a conversation between us. And Even if you don't want the video out, I always say this, but I need to see you, because if not, I will talk over you, because I try to time, when people talk, I want to see if I can jump in without like cutting them off. And when I can't see you, it's worse. But yeah, please, you're always welcome to come on the show, because I like to talk movies, and I like all kinds of movies. I'm pretty multifaceted with the movies, and these movie series are designed to really tackle movies of all types of genres, or some that are well known, super popular, or maybe they're just not as big, or maybe they're like a hidden gem. If that will make sense soon enough. And if you haven't already, follow us on social media at TOCMovies. That's our handle everywhere: TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Blue Sky, and Threads at TOCMovies. And if you're listening to this podcast on a podcast app, make sure wherever you're tuned in to, please hit the follow so you can stay up to date when new episodes drop. And of course, I always say this, a few of them, but we are on Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Deezer, Amazon. Did I say Amazon already? But you name it, we're on it. And of course, you could watch the YouTube side of it. Make sure you hit the subscribe, and of course hit the bell so you can stay up to date when new episodes drop. And that is youtube.com/at TOC movies. And of course, if you don't want to type any of this out, in the link description, whether it's social media, the podcast apps, or YouTube, we have a link tree. Click on that. That'll take you to everything. So you don't have to type it, and you can find us everywhere. Every link is available there. And thank you so much. I don't really have anything else to say except do not go into the back rooms. I know it's exciting, but don't do it. So I am the Patrick, your host. Until next time, stay tuned for another episode of Tomorrow Comes Movies.